Hello, and here we are back for another ride on Mr. Alastor. Today we are working on, what did we work on? I introduced him to leg yields, and we also did some free walk. So I had him on integrity, and he was moving off my leg really well, but he was also spooky and jumping up in the air. So I brought down the integrity, and today he was so lazy. So I got my lazy horse back, or my calm horse back, which is an upside, but the downside is he doesn't move off my leg anymore. So I'm going to be upping the integrity a little bit, and we're going to try to find that happy medium where he has energy to move, but not so much that he's scared of everything around him and like jumping out of his skin. And I think that just like with anything, it's just a tool that helps him get energy. I feel like once he builds up a work ethic and an understanding of what we're doing, what's expected of him, and that kind of thing, I think after that point, it would be easier for him to, find the work ethic in himself to move, per se. Anyway, so I'm just walking him around once each direction. So we're just walking around, and my dog Astra is following. So at some points, I do ask him to be in more of a frame, especially like when we're doing leg yields. He kind of has to be in my hand a little bit. Leg yields is something that can be used at all levels of dressage to help supple your horse in the lateral work and also build impulsion. And so my hope was to use the leg yield to build impulsion on his hind end so that he'd push forward. Did it work in some cases? I think it did. Did it work in other cases? No, maybe not. Gosh, he was just so lazy today. It's just all I have to say about that. So I walk him around once each way, and then I'm going to pick up the trot. I do have to whip him a couple times in this video. But I see, he's not moving. This is some kind of pony trot going on here. So I do use the whip in this video. I hate using a whip on a horse. But just like with everything, in my opinion, it's a tool to help you. I never go to the whip first, and I never whip him continuously. It's a gentle kick with my leg at the force that I want to use. And then if he doesn't respond, I kick him harder and swing the whip at his butt, not necessarily hitting him, but just showing it to him. And then if he still doesn't respond, then I give him more of a whack. But there's no welts on his butt. He's not being abused. I'm not sitting there hitting him. As you can see, he's moving so slow, and I'm not just whipping him continuously. Anyway, we're going around at this pony trot here. For real. It's just ridiculous. So I just trotted one way one time each direction. And then, I don't know, do I go straight and do it here? I don't think so. Okay, so I did actually do groundwork before I hopped on, and it was the same thing in my last video that we're asking for flexion in the neck and then asking him to move his inside hind leg across. And then I start doing that in the saddle. I'm asking him to bend and flex in his neck, and I'm asking for his inside leg to come, his inside hind leg to step across. And this is engaging that inside hind leg and connecting it to my inside leg. So when I put my inside leg on, I want that inside hind leg to move across, 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 across. And then ideally, I would want him to step forward out of that movement, but he doesn't. Every single time he sucks back. But I do want those forward, the front legs moving forward. I don't want them to be sucked back, and I want him moving forward. Yeah, see, he sucks back every time I tell him to go straight again. He sucks back, and I have to kick him to move him forward. So I'm asking him to engage that inside hind leg. Say I put my leg on, you move that, you engage that leg and move it over. Ideally, I'd want it crossing over. I don't see a lot of crossing, so I think I did 2 circles just to kind of, yeah. And then I felt like it was moving across a little better, so then I walk out of it and I try to really push him out of it. This does engage that hind end, so then he should be rocking back and sitting back a little bit, and then he should be able to use that built up energy in the hind end to push forward with more impulsion. And of course, he does the opposite and sucks back and goes slower, so I have to really like kick him out of it. So here he got a little stuck, and I'm like, no, you still need to move forward. So then I decided to just walk forward to get him unstuck because I want the turn to be moving. We're not asking for a turn on the forehand. So I don't want the front end to be still while the hind end is moving. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that inside hind leg to engage and cross over while his forward momentum while having forward momentum and impulsion and then pushing out of it. That one was really good. See how he was engaged in his hind end and then he pushed out of it to go straight? That was perfect. So then I give him just a slight walk break. Yeah, I think I did just 3 turns each way, looking for him to move off my inside leg. And that exercise is really vital in going to now the leg yielding, because now I'm going to ask the same thing to move over with that inside hind leg. I'm looking for him to cross. I don't think he ever does cross, but this is his first time doing it, and he definitely kind of, yeah, and then we want to push out. So just like it's basically the same thing, except for now we're on a straight line instead of in a circle. I want him moving forward, and then I'm going to put that inside leg on, outside leg slightly behind the girth, and move over. Cross over and straight. Cross over and straight. Cross over and straight, and push. I want you to walk forward and forward and forward. So again, we're asking that inside hind leg to engage, and with more engagement in the hind end, we should be able to use that now created energy to push forward and improve the quality of his walk. So we're asking him to move forward, over, and forward. 1 step over, 1 step forward. 1 step over, 1 step forward. And this is his first time ever doing it. So he's kind of leading with the forehand. That's okay. But he's moving over, which is amazing because I'm starting at quarter line and he's moving all the way to the rail, or my makeshift rail here. So I did 4. Gosh, did I do 4 already? 1, 2. Oh, I guess I only did 3 that direction. Thought I did 4. And then I asked him for trot, and we're gonna trot once each way. Or I think I just trot around and then I change direction. Yeah, maybe just around once that way, and I change direction, and then we're gonna go into it this way. Gosh, guess I should have done one more that direction. So we're asking for that lateral movement really um, teaches them to engage their hind end to their body. This way is a little bit better, I feel like. Move over, 1 step over, 1 step straight, 1 step over, 1 step straight. And then when we go out, push, push. And you can see just slightly that he has more impulsion because he's more engaged in the hind end after our leg yield. So that's what I'm looking for. I would have liked to see more activity, but like I said, he was really lazy. He's a lazy boy. Definitely not the same horse that I rode the other day. What day was that? Sunday? Move over and straight. Move over and straight. Yeah, that one we never got a push out of that one. He's trying. It's not that he's not trying. It's a really nice one. His camera angle isn't that great to like really see the leg yield. Yeah, you see he led with the shoulders a little bit. That's okay. And then push. Push. Go. Yeah, see, there was just a slight engagement in that corner that was more than normal. So we're using that leg yield to improve the quality of his walk. I would have done this exercise at the trot as well if he would have trotted better, but he was barely trotting. So we still need to work on reactivity moving forward off my leg. This one was really good. Of course, because as we were working it, he gets a clearer understanding. Inside leg at the girth, outside leg slightly behind, push over and straight. And look at that engagement now in his walk. Did you see that? It was very good. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to trot around. And I think I just trot around once and then I changed direction. Same thing as I did the other way. And then we're going to cool down, or not that we... Gosh, this whole thing could just be a warm-up, really. But because I had no motion, I don't want to just sit and spend my whole ride kicking my horse. So we did incorporate the trot, but we didn't do trot work. And then we're going across the diagonal, and then we're going to come around and work on our free walk. Free walks should be worked on a lot more than I feel like they are worked on. And the reason is, well, I mean, like from a show perspective, uh, you get free walk is almost always a double coefficient. So, if you have pretty average scores on everything, and then you get a 7 or an 8 on your free walk, I mean, that could push you over the edge and be more competitive. So, I'm asking him to come down. I'm putting on my leg. And then, just like when I was doing the groundwork the other day, I was just kind of holding the bit. And when he stretched down, I released. And I just went inch by inch, millimeter by millimeter, slowly letting the reins down. I don't want to throw away the reins. What I want is him to seek the contact forward and downward, because that will translate into our stretchy trot whenever I can get him to start trotting. So then on the short edge, I collected him and I moved him off my leg, did like a slight leg yield, and then I put him back here. If he went, when I gave him the reins and he pops his head back up, I kind of go wide with my reins and then I hold the pressure. And then when he dips back down, I give back forward. And then I collected him up a little bit. I moved him off my inside leg. Inside leg, come round. And then millimeter by millimeter, slowly giving down. Good. See, he did drop his head a little bit. He's just learning. And each time I do it, he gets a little better. Look at that stretch. He actually stretched down. Very good. And then I'm going to pull him back up. Collect him on the short edge. I'm going to do a slight leg yield just to get him kind of in a frame in my hand. And then inch by inch, slowly letting my reins down. Remember, the leg on is important when asking your head down. There should be no rein used unless your leg is being used as well. It's popping up a little more right here. All right, and then we're going to change direction. And when we change direction, I'm going to work on engaging that inside hind leg, asking it to move across, doing those turns again. So flexion in the head, flexion in the head, cross that leg over, and then I'm going to sit straight and then go the other way. And see how he moved his body? I loved that. I mean, I don't love how he sucked back and like stopped almost in the middle of that, but I loved how you can see very clearly that he was bent one way and he took his whole body and bent the other way. I thought that was beautiful. The only thing that would have made that better is to be forward. But I got a lazy horse, so we're going to have to work on that forward. I feel like judges are always remarking, saying more bend, show more bend. And that's what they're asking for, is to see that very clear change in your horse's body. So I'm collecting, moving off my inside leg, and coming out of the turn. Look at how he's stretching his head. Every time I go around, he stretches his head downward a little bit more. So I open my reins wide if he pulls up, putting my leg on to put his head down. Leg on means head down. Collecting my reins, move over, and you can see how he crosses. See how he's crossing? It's I'm kind of leg yielding. I'm not, well, that clearly was a leg yield. I wasn't necessarily asking for that, but he gave it to me and I was happy with that. And then again, look at that. Look at that. So what they're looking for is for the horse's head and neck to be below the withers. And then, of course, you want a forward, lofty gait in your walk at the same time, which is not being shown here because he's really sucked back and slow. So I'm asking him to move over, collected him up, move over. I'm actually very happy with that frame. I mean, it is a very beautiful frame. I think it's a perfect training level frame. But I'm an untrained eye, so that could be just me, my bias. Look at that stretch. Oh my goodness, what a good boy. What a good boy. What a good boy. So then I collect him up. And then he thought he was done, which he was, but I was like, no, you're not going to be done till I say. So I walk him down center line, And then he's like, look at him. He's like, oh, I'm done. I'm like, no, no, no. No, no, no. I didn't say you're done. And then I take a deep breath, breathe out, ask for him to come down. Yes. Yeah, good boy. Then ask him to flex to the left. Good boy. And asking him to flex to the right, but not take it away from me. You can gently move his neck back. Very good. And stretch. He stretched down all by himself. I would have asked him to if he didn't. All right, good boy. So that was our ride. I was very happy with that. I would have liked more forward, but hey, I think every dressage rider who rides a lazy horse is wanting more forward. So, and coming off of a horse that was very forward, so forward you couldn't put your leg on at all. I'm actually very happy with asking more forward than trying to hold back a wild thing. So I was very happy. This was our first time ever doing leg yields, first time ever asking his head down in a free walk, and I think he did amazing. Thank you so much for watching my ride.